So there's clearly a preponderance of negative news all over the place. You turn on your radios, negative news. You switch on your television sets, negative news. You get online, negative news, which makes you question or ask the question, are there no positive stories out there? I believe there are, and I've decided to find these stories and bring them to you. I've decided to focus on individuals who of their own calling, of their own volition. I've decided to impact society in positive ways. Hi, so my name is Joseph Hanson, and on today's edition of Society's Angels, we focus on Rose Dodd. She's the creator of Kaya Childcare, and as the name suggests, she's set up a childcare development center that looks after the kids of Kayaye. It's around this area in Medina where the center is located, while they are out there making a living for their families. The question is, and the question that's been asked for a long time, is what do the children of the Kayaye do when their mothers are out there making a living? What do they do? Do they follow their mothers around? Do they sit at home aimlessly? Do they get out there on the streets to sell? Or do they find a place such as Kaya Childcare where they are developed, where their cognitive, emotional, and other abilities are developed, and where they find a place in society where an angel has created a space for them to thrive? So tell us perhaps a little bit about your background before we get into Kaya Childcare itself.
So Rose Dodd is currently a lecturer at Ashesi University up in Berkusu. I teach entrepreneurship and I also teach leadership, the capstone leadership course in Ashesi University. I'm originally from Winneba in the Central Region. I am one of two girls of my parents, and we grew up mainly in Accra. So let's just say I've had a lot of experience meeting or engaging Kayaye in the markets in Accra from childhood to this time. I have an MBA from the University of Illinois, and I'm now working towards further education. I just felt like a child should just get the opportunity to be a child. In the days when they are a child, you know, as in under age 8, even under age 6. And that's what brought this interest. My family moved to Medina, and I had just returned from the US, and I was living at home with my parents in Medina. We live very close to the big markets at Zongo Junction. So I almost every day saw Kayaye carrying load and carrying a child on her back. And I mean, besides the fact that, you know, it's hard for the mother to have a child and as well as go on with their daily work, there was also the fact that that child just didn't get a chance to even run around or play or learn in the most critical early years of their life.
In Ghana, or perhaps anywhere in the world, it's very easy to think of an idea, to put it on paper, and then stop right there. Procrastinate the idea to be. So how did you move from the theoretical stage, from when it was an idea to what we have now?
Yeah, so I had several ideas, but I feel like when I found this one, it just really, really got to me, you know. What we really initially wanted to do was just create a safe space for the kids to come and just play. We take care of almost like babysitting so that the mothers can work. And we realized that, well, if we have them in a space, we might as well give them, you know, some basic early development things that they need, right? So I got together a small team, people who were just interested, young people in Ashesi, entrepreneurship students who were interested. We came to Medina. We went to the slum areas where the Kayaye live, in Red Co behind the market over there. We just went there. We said, hey, so we are interested in setting up a space, quote unquote, a school for your kids to come to. What do you think? Oh, it's interesting. Okay, you know, we want you to come and talk to our elders. Okay. So this went on for a while. We just go there. So they started getting familiar with seeing us. And then we planned, I guess you would call, technical terms, it's an MVP, a minimum viable product. So it's basically a representation of the actual model, right? But brought down to its barest form. And the barest form for us was a mat. We had a couple mats. We had some car tires. We had plastic chairs, a canopy. And we set up on the park right next to where they live in Redco. And then when the mothers would pass, we would just stop them and say, can we take care of your child while you go to the market? Some of them would say yes, some would say no. In that initial stage, we did that for about 2 weeks. In that initial stage, we had about 15 children. Okay. Yeah, even more. And a few of the things we were testing was whether they would pay any fee for, to leave their kids, and whether we could feed their children, right? So we started giving them snacks. It was just fruits. Every day we take them and give them fruits. And we encourage the mothers to come at lunchtime to give them lunch. About 3 months from there, we said, okay, this is working. They will bring their kids. They would pay 2 cedis for their kids. We can buy a small meal, snack with the 2 cedis. So let's go find space, a real space with a gate safe for the kids, because that wasn't exactly a safe space. So we found a new space in Madian, which is actually this space. In 2017, and we found this space. And you know how rent in Ghana is. We paid 2 years rent up front. And then we told the Kayaye mothers that, so we found a space, a safer space. Clean, several rooms for classes. And then they said, oh, this is great. So we're going to now come to this new space. So they would come here, look around, hear what we have to say, and then say, we'll come back the next day. But they would go and not come back. Then we would go back to the market and say, oh, but, this space is ready. The teachers are ready. We are ready to take your kids just like we were at Redco. Oh, we will come. And they never came. It took us maybe 9 months to a year.
For what to happen?
For the mothers to, I guess, trust us enough to bring their children to this space. Which, that was like the biggest challenge for us in the beginning. They trusted us when we were at Redco because everyone else could see us. So it was in an open space. We were close to where they live. So other people walking around could just see us. Okay. But in our new space, it's gated. It's a little removed from the market. To us, we were providing better quality. To them, it's too far removed. So once we realized that, we're like, oh, okay. So we went into the market. We found an uncompleted building. Okay. And we ran Kaya Childcare out of that uncompleted building for a while, about 6 months or so.
6 months?
Yeah.
So from the open space to the uncompleted building?
Yeah.
And all the while you had paid rent?
We had paid rent for this place.
Were you given a refund? Yeah.
So in the first year, we actually lost quite a bit of money. So we stayed in that uncompleted building in the market. We had to close a little early because of, there was no power, no water. And we really basically ran a babysitting with food. That's basically what we did. In the beginning, we used to buy food. So we would go buy rice, buy wachi, buy beans, try to balance it as best as we could. We stayed there for a while. We gained their trust. We gained respect. They gained, they also gave us respect. We gave them respect. And we built a relationship. So when the landlord in the market came and told us he was ready to renovate, complete that building, we told them, well, we have this space. So we asked the mothers, we're going to move back here. So that place is ready. Oh, okay. And then they came here with us, yes. Yeah.
So how many kids do you have now?
We currently have 30 kids.
30 kids.
Yes.
You have the full trust of the...
Yes, yes. We even have a like a wait list of kids, because the center can only take up to a certain amount, for quality. Yeah.
Okay.
So currently we have 30 children.
Okay, so on a typical day, what does a kid do when they get here? What time do they get here? When do they close? What do they do?
Yeah, so we open at 7:30. The center opens at 7:30. Latest by 3:30, we are done and out of here. On a typical day, so the kids are in different sections, right? There's the little babies class from about age 1 to about age 2. And then there's what others would call nursery, from about age 2.5 to maybe about 3.5, thereabouts. And then there's kindergarten 1, from about 3.5 to 4.5, somewhere before age 4 or age 5, and then there's kindergarten, right before class 1. So if a child is doing better, they move on to a higher class. We focus on play, we focus on engagement. We use English mother tongue, and as much activities as possible. Because in general, we are trying to develop the child along all of the developmental stages, right? Social, physical, cognitive, all of it. And the teachers here, besides having the passion, and we hire for passion first. Most things you can teach, you can train, right? But just the passion, yes, it needs to be there. And it's a different target group, right? So the passion to give back to your community, even though this is work, you want to feel like you are contributing to your community. They also get training, after about 2 years, up to 2 years with us. We put them into nursery teacher training college or maybe a Montessori program to get certified, if they find that this is really what they want to do for a career.
Okay.
I'm a retired nurse, and right after I retired from nursing 3 years ago, I went into early childhood at my church. So I ran their early childhood children's ministry, and that's when I met Rose. She was one of my volunteers, and then she told me about this idea that she had and just loved it, and came to visit the center once, and then I was sold. A week later, I started coming to see what's going on, and I started managing the center.
Okay, so how long have you been with the center?
It's a year. I recycle a lot. So I'll be really walking on the street and I see a can, I'll pick it up, pick up stones, like anything that I think it will work as a tool to teach a child a certain concept or anything like that. We do a lot of, we rely a lot on sponsorship, so private donors, word of mouth, let me have your used cans, your used boxes, clients that you don't need anymore. I rely a lot on volunteers as well, their time to create the activities and make time to do things with the kids. Yeah, so
I see an urban center where, even with all the challenges, a vulnerable child gets, at the very least, the development they need at the age they need it. We engage the mothers quarterly in a meeting, almost like a PTA, right? It's kind of like our own PTA, where we discuss health, nutrition, where we discuss personal care for themselves, for their child. We know they don't have much, but how do you even keep your little environment clean?
And you're seeing improvements.
Yes, exactly, and also how do you take part in your child's development? Maybe you don't understand the English they are speaking when they come home, but we are saying that engage them. When you take them to the market and they tell you, Mommy, look, that is okra. Nkrumah is okra. Yeah. It's a pride to see that your child is developing. The first couple of years of any project, of any organization is tough in terms of finances, right? Being an entrepreneurship professor, I know. So what we set our minds to was to make sure we develop the model, we develop the operations, we prove the concept, and we've done that. Okay. So now we know how this place runs. We have our curriculum, we've developed it, we know which stages the children are, we know the interventions to make. So at this stage, It's where we need, like, the support in terms of funds to grow it and to develop it and to spread it across the country and across the continent, because there are other instances like this in other countries. So far, the fees we take, which are daily fees, cover a bit of our expenses. It's not 100%, but it's a good amount, because we run very lean. We don't run excessive costs. But we do request for support and get support from our community, from friends, family, from donors and supporters, either in kind or in cash. Cash support is very helpful because it helps in running the daily operations, paying transportation fares for our teachers or stipends. But people can also support in even food, because we feed the children, right? We give them a meal and a snack every single day. Fruits, our snacks are always fruits. Meals, so we give them rice, yam, vegetables, so people can support in that way. We also use office material, office stuff, right? So if you would like to support us, you can do that by sending mobile money to 055 8627971, or by visiting our website at www.kayachildcare.org. There's a donate button there you can use to support us, or you can send to our mobile money. You can also visit our center with any cash support you may have, or call us on this same number, 055 8627917.